What's up, guys? Go back to review with the Disenchanted, the new movie that has now officially been released on Disney Plus, and with this film that is a sequel to the 2007 movie Enchanted. And with this film, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really amazing. It was really good, and I thought it was awesome to follow to the first Enchanted film, where it follows Giselle and Robert's lives after the events of the first Enchanted film. And with this film, that I had so many vibes and Easter eggs, a very Disney film as well. So in this video's beautiful official review of this Enchanted, gave you guys my thoughts and opinions, especially going over that ending, especially for all the things and the characters, especially for what I thought as well. But if you do hear a yourself at this, be sure to subscribe and click the bell so it's visit like latest videos. So let's get to it. And plus, with this film, when it was announced that a sequel is happening for the first in the China film, and now when they announced it back at Disney Plus last year, I thought it was going to be a sequel that is going to have a different take, especially on these characters that were returning. But when we saw first footage at D23 when it's for Sheila, I was instantly hooked. And plus, I love the first in China movie growing up, and as with this film, I really loved how it opened up and that it recapped the events that happened in the first Enchanted film, but was like Giselle fighting her happily ever after, especially in Andalusia, and even with fighting her true love, which of course was a Robert when she had transported into New York City to find her true love with a Robert who was a lawyer, and with his daughter Morgan, with Giselle and Robert falling in love. And plus, I think that is really did like follow up what events that happened after the events of the first Enchanted film, which was Robert and Giselle, and now they've had their happily ever after, and now living in their lives in New York City, especially with the Morgan being a teenager with their newborn daughter who is Sophia. And plus, as I was watching the movie from start to finish, and this had the vibe and Easter egg from every Disney movie, including for Cinderella, Tangled, and even Snow White as well. And even though with the events happen in this movie, with how this movie is about, is with the Robert, Giselle, Morgan, and the newborn Sophia find their happily ever after somewhere else, because living in New York City for them, it was obviously not a good fit for them, and obviously finding that new happy ever after in Monroeville, they decided to move there. Of course, with them seeing Morgan now as a teenager and finding a new life for her, especially with the family to adjust to a new life, and especially with finding the new happily ever after in Monroeville. And now, as you see, Giselle, Robert, and their entire family now officially moved in and like trying to adjust to new life, especially in their new home in Monroeville. And like even with Morgan is handling it, and with Giselle doing everything that she can to make Morgan fit into their new home, especially with the Giselle making their new home a magical and fairy tale life. Even with the teenage Morgan now going to school, and especially being made fun of because of Giselle making her wear an outfit, a skirt, and like even with the scene where Giselle is trying to get everyone to notice Morgan, is especially by having a fundraiser, especially with having like a festival, with like, even with Giselle trying to make everything a fairy tale life. And now, as we see the returning characters, such as for Prince Edward and Nancy, as they're now a married couple and still living their lives in Andalusia, and they come to visit Giselle and Robert, as they're now a married couple as well, living in Monroeville, and saying hello to their newborn Sophia, and like even with Edward is asking Giselle of how she likes her new home and her family, and with Giselle, she's saying about things are not as much of a fairy tale life as it was in Anastasia, and then with Edward, he makes a suggestion if Giselle doesn't like what she sees in her new home in Monroeville, she must change it and make it into her own fitting, making her own fairy tale life and change up everything. Especially this is what led Giselle to using a magic wand to turn everything in her new life, and she wishes for a magical fairy tale life in her new home in Monroeville to turn it into Monroeville, and like that's how we see things more of a fairy tale life with everyone singing, including for Robert and Morgan. We see things more of a fairy tale life. And even it's had the vibes and Easter eggs from every Disney movie, including for Cinderella, and even with the Tangled, and even with the Snow White as well. Even with the Maya Rudolph, who plays the evil queen as well. And plus, with one of my favorite moments from this film is with Robert in bright shining armor, especially with carrying the sword that was given to him by Edward, and even carry it around everywhere, especially on the train when everyone noticed his sword. I thought it was pretty funny as well. And even as he used the sword, it's sort of like imagination, especially in a fairy tale world, especially to take down a creature. And now, it's especially when this film paced itself from start to finish, I really enjoyed every second of it. This was definitely a worthy sequel, especially from the first Enchanted film, with everything that they adapted in the sequel. And now, it's especially with Giselle wishing on Monroe to be more of a fairy tale life, as she wished from that magic wand. But then it completely goes wrong. See everything turn evil, and even with her being revealed to be a wicked system mother, and now with Giselle being evil and the bad guy, and even with how she can reverse the spell. And now, especially with the pivot of the Chipmunk, I really enjoyed him in this film, especially as I enjoyed him in the first Enchanted film, when he had a high squeaky voice and a much more of a Chipmunk voice. But now in this one with the pivot, he had much more of a normal human voice, and even telling Giselle about how she turned her life, her new life in Monroeville into more of a magical fairy tale life. That suddenly went wrong, and with the Giselle becoming the wicked stepmother and evil, and even without she can reverse the spell is at the show of midnight, especially with Mal, Bibina, and Giselle having a conversation about who would be the new queen of Monroeville, and it was even with this we see how this film progress on, especially for every Disney film. And now, as we can see, as Giselle and Morgan are having a fight with Giselle being the evil, wicked stepmother, and even with having Morgan do multiple chores and multiple stuff that as she does want to do, and I believe that she's already done. And with Giselle, we see her push Morgan into the animated world of Anastasia, where she sees Nancy and everywhere. Even we see the giant creature from the first Enchanted film, and even with Morgan explains to Nancy what is going on, and that's when Giselle turning her life, her new life in Monroeville into her own magical fairy tale life, and something went wrong, and we see all the stuff in Anastasia disappearing, and now with all the stuff that is disappearing, all the magic that is disappearing, and meaning that Anastasia will be gone, and with all this ending of progresses to see if Giselle can reverse the spell, especially at midnight. And now, especially for this final act and a final fight of this film, is with Malvina and Giselle fighting for who gets to be the queen of Monroeville, and you see the fight go on, especially with Robert Tyson and Morgan helping Giselle out, especially with reversing the spell, especially before the stroke of midnight. And even with this, as we see everything in Television, there's a bursting through Monroeville, especially well, the magic that has been disappearing now in their world, and even with the dissolve trying to reverse of the spell, and even with the Morgan how she can reverse the spell as well, and potentially fix all of this. And with the dissolve, she gave a heartfelt speech, especially before she died, and even after that with telling Morgan that she is the true daughter of Antalya, and eventually stops the spell, and she eventually stops everything, and even reversing the spell. And now, with the ending to this film, we see that the spell is now reversed, and everything is turned back to normal, with Morgan waking up to a normal house, and with Giselle telling Morgan that she did it, she reversed the spell, and they see this really cool picnic with Nancy and Edward involved, and now even as this movie ends with a dance between Giselle and Robert, I think this has the same vibes. I saw them dance in the first Enchanted film, and that's how this film ended, with their dance. And especially with this film, I thought it was definitely a worthy sequel from the first Enchanted film. And yeah, and with this Disenchanted, I really enjoyed the sequel, especially as it was a direct follow-up to the first Enchanted film. This wasn't like a different take on the characters, and even brought back the OGs, including for Nancy and Edward, especially with Morgan, who was now a teenager. With every moment in this film, I thought it was pretty magical and really great, and really add the vibes and Easter eggs from every Disney film, which I really did enjoy this film. I enjoyed everything, especially for the songs and the score and everything that went down in this film. It was definitely awesome, and I think it was definitely worth the wait, especially after waiting 15 years that there was ever going to be a sequel, and now that we finally have it. So I really enjoyed this Enchanted and everything that went down in this film as well. So that's my first video. Let guys thoughts in the comments below, and what your thoughts on this Enchanted. If you've seen the film, give me a rating between 1 out of 10. So we can get this video liked and subscribe to the channel for future videos, and if I have updates, always follow me on Twitter. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.